what did they call that? Yeah. So we've had a break-in again. Hey at Woodlanders, we start this one off in the workshop this week. I've got to do some timber stuff, which I'll show you in a minute. Got to get that done and try and reopen the Etsy shop. That's the goal. But Karen's been doing some pyrography. I really can't be bothered this morning. I hurt my shoulder yesterday. It's not doing me any favours really. Got to finish these off as well, so I've got to route out the backs of these as well. And then I've got to make a brooch stand for my sister. So yes, all in a bit of a workshop day. Well, the other day, I mentioned this. So just here was a mortiser, a bench top mortiser, cracking bit of a kit, Axminster one. Weighed an absolute ton. Anyway, I bought it about 4 years ago. And actually, I never used it. So I've decided to sell it. Popped it on the auction site and it went within about 2 days. We are still in the fallout from the timber framed outdoor kitchen, which is now finished to a point. It's finished to what I wanted, but there's lots of little extras that I want to get done. But as far as the video series is concerned, the outdoor timber frame kitchen is finished, and the 5th episode will be out next week, I reckon. Tools are all out still, and just general untidiness, which is story of my life. Is chucking it down with rain outside, so thank goodness we're in the workshop together. This is what is going to be a brooch stand for my sister. We've come up with a design, and it was just a case of a solid piece of timber, piece of oak, and cutting 3 channels out of it. Now this may mean nothing to you, but the saw blade I've got is called an alternate top bevel, which means that when you cut, well, you can see that, I can see the shadows, it creates like a score line. You can hear that. So that one, I've run the chisel down it, so I've got to do the same with this one now. I've got to run the chisel down this to create kind of a smooth bottom, which is always nice. And then once I've done that, I've got this piece. So this piece is for there, like that. And then I've just got a chamfer the bottom on 15 degrees as well, so that will sit back like that, and then that'll be glued onto there, and then it'll create sort of like a picture frame upright stand that will look like that. Impressed? I mean. It's not turned out too bad in the end, has that? Happy with that. So we've had a break-in again. So this isn't my fence. There's kind of an odd zigzag we've got here, which is a daft idea really. But of course it creates a weak spot. Donkeys got in, which wasn't great. So I might just give it 5 minutes and knock another fresh post in, just so that one isn't going to keep falling over, and just tie it back somehow. But of course the challenge is, as I've been mentioned before, because it's not my fence, it's not my responsibility, and because we haven't got livestock, it's the animals' owners, it's their responsibility to keep their animals out of our patch. So that's kind of thrown a new light on it for me, because I didn't realise it's quite so strict as that. If you've got livestock, keep them in. It seems like the landowner next door hasn't got the greatest amount of funding, and it's put me in a bit of a tricky situation in that I can't keep giving people free time to fix their fence, but it's put me in a bit of a predicament in that she took to social media to ask who could fix the fence when there is a local fencing contractor, but of course there's a premium to that. Now we're either going to get Bodget and Scarpa come with a couple of little posts and concrete them in, which you just don't use concrete in a stock fence woodland situation, or we're going to end up with every man and his dog coming up spying on the land, which is another frustration. So I'm just kind of venting my frustration with it all really. It's all very disappointing. I'm trying to get other things done. I've got to fix somebody else's fence. If I had to call that on film, you would have never believed me, would you? Right, made my teeth chatter, that did. Well, it's not very pretty, but it'll stop it from pulling back them sprags. Strut things weren't doing anything really. That one's got a little pokey screw in it, look. But in other news, got some nice apples coming on. I had this apple tree given me by a lady in a garden. She said it was Bramley's. Well, that is no Bramley apple. As eating apples, they taste fantastic, lovely crunch to them. This afternoon's job is got to get some firewood in, and I might go and dress some rods down the bottom end. That's another option. I was doing a job with Jeff this morning. That was what we were up to. We were moving a summer house, so not quite woodland work, so I didn't bring you along for that because, well, do you really want to watch somebody moving a summer house? I don't know, maybe you do. But I thought that would last me all day, but it didn't, so it's good because that means I can catch up with some other bits. I do love this trailer. Interesting one this morning. I'm a self-confessed closet conspiracy theorist. As one guy said to me, trust no one and question everything. Of course, a few years back, we were all told, oh yeah, you've got to get a diesel car because diesel cars are the best. Now we've got the whole electric car thing. But as a closet conspiracy theorist, I have a theory about diesel now. So I went to the filling station this morning and filled it with diesel, and nearly every time I go, there's a diesel pump that's not working. And we're talking about a mainstream supermarket. Are they gradually limiting the availability of diesel to force people down the route of electric and petrol only? Anyway, that's my theory for today. Let me know what you think. Are you a closet conspiracy theorist? I'm not a closet conspiracy theorist anymore because I've just launched my theory on YouTube. just been having a little mooch about. And ooh, watch that, where there's blame there's a claim. And I've got one of my fences down, another post has snapped, another stake is on the floor. Here's me calling the pot black when it's me. I need to fix my own fences. So normally our woodland has quite a lot of fungi, so mushrooms, toadstools, those sort of things. Fungi. We have this, look at that. They are monsters. So this is a pine stool. Probably cut down about 7 or 8 years ago, but look at them beauties. They are, I mean that's my hand look. So they are pretty big. I wished I knew what they were, because I know nothing about fungi, and I feel embarrassed about that, because somehow I feel I should know something. Other than I do know you can always eat every single mushroom at least once, but I don't really recommend that. You might see the funny side of that. If you don't, please don't try this at home, but they do look rather spectacular. What do you reckon? Be prepared to be spammed with lots of mushroom pictures next. They just makes fantastic natural shapes, don't they, mushrooms? They're just so unusual and so temporary. You know, maybe a day or two and they've gone again. But we haven't had many this year. We normally get quite a variety. Nothing that's particularly nice and edible. We do get a variety, but this year we haven't had much at all, and I don't know whether it's the dry summer that's killed it, or we're only at the early edge of October, so maybe we've got another month yet of moisture and warmth. My next job is to start to try and dress some of these rods. Something else I was going to have a chat to you about as well. 2 years ago, I set up a little shop on Etsy, and it costs you about 20p to list an item, and then there's a percentage of the sale value if you sell something. I never sold anything. If you've not got much in the shop and somebody searches for, let's say, kotuk, mine won't come up in the listings because I've not got a significant amount in the shop. What I'll do is I'll put the link in the description below, and I'll put some fresh stuff on. And I thought, well, I'll give Etsy another try. So that's what we've done. By all means, go and have a look if you fancy anything. That'd be absolutely awesome. At the moment, it's UK only. So if you live in the UK, great. If you don't live in the UK, maybe international shipping will come one day. Right, it's 4 o'clock. I could do another half an hour. That's another little pile sorted, and we're off. Well, tell you what, an empty hand is a wasted hand. What am I thinking here? Grab some rods, man.
Hello.
Hey up. We've got some tree seeds we're planting this afternoon. So we've got some horse chestnuts or conkers, absolutely, yes.
And this is from sycamore
And we've
trees.
got some sycamore trees, which is as a red acer, so they are sort of reddish kind of seeds on. We've just put them in a bit of soaked water just to absorb a bit of moisture.
Yeah.
Don't compost. We'll fill these up.
I found them at my school, which is like perfect. This one doesn't have such a thick wing, does it? This one does. And we found out that if you use one like this, it flies better, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It spins
longer.
better. So they're helicopter sycamores. They spin slower and better, don't they, than the ones with smaller wings.
Try it at home if you can.
How many you got?
7, 8, 9.
9. How many is that in a pot?
9.
Oh, we got 2 pots.
That works out because 3 times 3 is 9.
Have we only got 2 pots?
Okay, so 1 group of 5 and 1 group of 4.
Yeah, that's right. Because we can't really do half a conker, can we, really? The thuya seeds that we did earlier this year, we bought some thuya seeds off the well-known auction site, and they were meant to be 100% viable. So we did them, didn't we? And we soaked them, and then we stratified them in the fridge, and then we put them in the kitchen, just where ambient temperature would help them to germinate. And we never had one germinate, did we?
No.
Not one. We gave it the best chance possible. We did some willow cuttings, didn't we?
Yeah.
And they've done really well.
Yeah, they've done.
So we're going to plant those out soon.
Because I have lunchtime and break time, right? And basically I collect them at break time and a little bit at lunchtime.
We're going to put some compost on the tops of them.
So, because those seeds are bigger, those. Okay, I'll concentrate on this.
Put the conkers there. And there.
What was that?
Slug. Some generous soul kindly left a big pile of dumped soil and slate by the look of it. Aren't folks so generous? Morning! It's an odd job sort of a day today. Just brought some plants I got from home. So that was that hazel I got that was self-set. That was some willow cuttings that we did. Me and Ellie Ray did those last winter. I got some self-set hazel the other day. That's those there in that bag. And of course they're bare roots, so we're going to get those in just now, rather than put them in a pot. So we'll go and bob these in and put a little shelter around them. Sweet chestnut log I took down last year, but look at that. A black gooey fungus growing on there. So this may well be telling you to suck eggs really, but I tend to use the T-slot method, so if I just demonstrate that for you. Do a slot that way, slot that way. And when you lift, hopefully that crack opens up like that. And as long as the roots aren't too big, you can lift up this, pop your plant in there. You want to make sure that where it's been in the ground, that's got to be back down to the ground. Like that. Firm in and off we go. But that's a method that works around here. I just want to say a huge thank you to our coffee sponsors. The latest one is Graham V. Thank you, Graham. We do really appreciate your generosity, and if you want to sponsor us by buying us a coffee, the link is down below. Don't be shy, but if you don't want to, that's absolutely fine. There's no haters here. This is a little 9 horsepower Honda engine. So I'm sorry to say, and I've got a bit of another confession to make. I did buy another machine about 2 years ago, right at the start of COVID. I anticipated that I would end up being out of work. And there was a 2-wheel tractor going to Kilworth Machinery locally. It's been in their yard for probably about 300 years, and I thought, oh, I might be able to do something with that. I bought it off them for a few quid. And well, I didn't run out of work, did I, during COVID? So I've still got it. But I have managed to pick up a flail mower for it. I think it might be a future project, that one. I used to have one years ago. Cracking little machines. I had a diesel one, 10 horsepower diesel. Honestly, it was amazing. But the thing was so heavy. My shoulders are no good. I can't remember how many times I've dislocated my shoulder now. I think it's 7 times. And then I hit this shoulder the other day, which was all very close to being dislocated as well. So anyway, I sold all that and I bought a 4-wheel drive tractor, which you've seen. I've had several along the way. You know, there's a squirrel taunting me from behind. So stay tuned for the potential of a mechanical resurrection of our little 2-wheel tractor. And my goal is really to be able to use it up the woodland to try and knock back some of the bramble and stuff, and create like meandering paths through the woodland that aren't always the same, just different paths, different years, so that you can sort of take a gentle stroll around the edge of the woodland and places that you don't ordinarily get access to and you don't think of walking to, but it's just nice to have a wander. It's not really that late. Let me just check the time for you. It's 10 to 5. Like an eeriness that's come over that, the darkness has come. And we're only mid-October and you can just feel the change in the light levels. That's a sign of things to come. Unfortunately, I'm not a great big fan of November or December, because every day just gets darker and darker and darker. So if you've managed to make it to the end of the video, you deserve a pat on the back. I know it's an endurance test listening to me, but thanks again. If you've made it this far, you could always bosh the like button if you like it, or you could subscribe if you've not done that yet. If you feel so inclined, you could share it, although you do that at your own risk. Somebody may not actually want to listen to me. And if you're a new subscriber, welcome aboard. It's good to have you along. Thanks for doing that. And we will see you on the next one. And as always, if you're able to, try and enjoy some woodland again this weekend. See you on the next one.